And guys, we got to get to the quotes from Jordan Spieth after what he did this past week. Second top 10 finish so far this year, but didn't get an invite to Bay Hill at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So Spieth said after his round in regards to not getting a sponsor's invite, I'm bummed not to be there next week. It's been a great place for me. He's had 2 T4 finishes at Bay Hill in his career. I really wish I was getting that start, but I needed to play better injured golf last year, I guess. So how do you read between the lines there, Lav?
Look, I certainly understand Jordan Spieth's frustration because this is the situation that the PGA Tour created with these limited field signature events. You know, they're supposed to be these star-driven showcases, and I would argue that Jordan Spieth right now is probably the 3rd biggest star on the PGA Tour, behind only Tiger and Rory. And so you've got these star-driven showcases where you're trying to ensure the best players are all together, and there's a massive importance in getting in those events and gaining points, but it also creates a scenario where is it then going to be a popularity contest? Are tournament organizers going to be judging who writes the best letter to sort of lobby for themselves for a sponsor exemption as well? Like, the easiest solution to this, if you're the PGA Tour, is to either put a cap on the number of sponsor exemptions you can receive per season in a signature event, whether it's 2 or 3, or don't have them at all, and just have these special invitation events where the best players in the world are earning those spots and not necessarily be given those spots. I think that would sort of eradicate the entire issue.
All right, Shane, I'm going to bring you in on this as well because I do find it interesting because this boils down to meritocracy versus marketing. Do you want the biggest names to come to your tournament to give it a higher profile, or do you want to award players who are playing well? I've been on both sides of the fence on this one. I tend to agree with Lav that we probably need to limit these sponsor exemptions in the signature events, but where do you stand?
As far as I know, and what I've heard from people behind the scenes, is that there are 3 players right now who, when they're in contention, boost the ratings and get everybody interested. 1 is obviously Tiger, 2 is Rory, and 3 is Jordan Spieth. This is still one of the biggest names you have. He's one of the more compelling figures. Come on, give the guy a break. Yeah, okay, it hits at the meritocracy a little bit, but earn your way in. Look, Bronny James got drafted by the NBA. Sometimes we must kowtow to the realities that are before us. And so I think Spieth has done enough. I think he is good enough for you from a marketing perspective that it's kind of crazy not to give him a sponsor's invite. I mean, look, I don't think Spieth is ever in danger of going to live, but you also have to think about, you've got a competitor right now. Shouldn't you be keeping your stars happy? I know I sound like a Spieth apologist. I am to some degree, but I just think there are certain guys, and there are not many of them, like I said, but that Jordan Spieth is one that kind of surpass all this stuff, and he does deserve special treatment for me.
Spieth going to live would be the ultimate heel move, like an NWO defection. But,
yes.
But I get what you're saying. You want your stars to play. I just hate the expectations of an invite when it's completely at the sponsor's discretion. Lav, let's pivot over to you. A couple different topics. I'm going to let you kind of choose your own adventure here. You want to talk Xander Schauffele and his return, or Keegan's comments from a week ago regarding the Ryder Cup? What interests you more?
Well, since I don't think that Keegan's comments on Full Swing were controversial at all, I think I would pivot to Xander Schauffele. I think he's the biggest question mark this week at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He told Xander Schauffele, today's golfer, late last week, that he has still been on a ball count, and prior to last weekend, he had not played a full round of golf. Guys, the Masters is roughly 5 weeks away, and you have the world number 3 saying that he's not quite playing competitive golf yet, just 18 holes. And so I'm very curious to see what he looks like this week, very curious to see if he can get through 72 holes of competition, curious to see if he has any setbacks, because rib issues can be very tricky. We had Brad Faxon on the podcast last night saying that he suffered this injury very similarly 25 to 30 years ago. He's still feeling it today. And so you don't want Xander to rush back, have a setback, and then it sort of endangers the heart of this competitive season.
All right, Shane, on a scale of 1 to 5 on the concern meter, it sounds like Lav's is about a 2.5, 3 when it comes to Xander. Where is your concern level when it comes to Scottie Scheffler coming in as the defending champion at Bay Hill?
Wait, can I go back and pick Keegan Bradley? Do I get the same?
Sure,
option
yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. You're running the show.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I think Scheffler, it's kind of funny when you look at the last 2 years. The only time he's mortal is when these outside things happen to him. It's like he's unstoppable, then he gets arrested, right? Or he's unstoppable, and then he cuts his hand with a kitchen knife or something like that. So I just think it's a funny angle. Like it's almost like the universe is saying, look, he's just too dominant. We need some parity in golf. So, tomorrow he's going to get struck by lightning or something like that. No, I'm not concerned at all about Scheffler. He's proven over and over how skilled he is. And he's right there, too. I mean, there was a press conference a couple tournaments ago where he finished second, third, or fourth, and he's acting like it's the end of days, right? I just don't know where my game is, blah, blah, blah. It shows you how high the standard is. And I think with Scheffler, a guy like that, it just takes one little thing to click. And he's so smart and he's such a hard worker that really I wouldn't be concerned. I would still, gun to head, they say, if you don't pick the Masters winner, you're gone. I'm taking Scottie Scheffler every time.